Good afternoon. This is your captain speaking. Tonight we'll be flying on a private jet from San Jose, California to New York City. Flight time will be 5 hours and 15 minutes at an altitude of 39,000 feet. We're expecting some thunderstorms and turbulence over the Rocky Mountains, but once we're east of Denver, it should be a smooth flight the rest of the way. Welcome aboard. So, it's 2 hours later. I look out the cockpit windows. It's dark, no moon, just flashes of lightning and a lot of turbulence. My co-pilot Mark and I were using the screens in front of us with the weather radar displayed to pick a path through these storms. And right as I make a right turn, one of Mark's screens goes out. It's not a big deal. I've seen it before. They get hot, they cool off. A few minutes later, they turn back on. So about 5 minutes later, another one of Mark's screens goes out. I get a tingly feeling on the back of my neck. But we're trained for this. As pilots, Mark and I know our three priorities: aviate, navigate, then and only then communicate. Aviate means stay in control of the airplane. Don't allow the situation to get worse by becoming distracted. Next is navigate. That means to assess the situation and strategize the best possible outcome. And finally, communicate. Share the right information with the right people at the right time. So I'm aviating, and I hear Mark call air traffic control and ask for weather in Denver. And they respond, "Do you require assistance?" Mark says, "We have a minor issue, but if things continue to get worse, we need to know the weather in the Denver area." Air traffic control says, "Weather in Denver is not good, but airports to the south are in the clear. Say intentions." Mark, just tell them to stand by. And that's when a third screen goes out. If my screens are next, if I lose my weather radar, we could fly right into a storm full of lightning and damaging hail. We got to get this plane on a runway right now. I look right at Mark. I like Centennial Airport. It's close, it's clear of the weather, and it has a long runway. What do you think? Yeah, we've been there before. That's a good pick. Only then does Mark talk on the radio. We need to divert to Centennial Airport. Air traffic control says, "Roger, cleared to descend, flight level 240, turn right heading 120. Are you declaring an emergency? Say intentions, fuel on board, souls on board. Mark says, "Descending flight level 240, turn right heading 120, stand by." Attaboy, Mark. Meanwhile, I'm aviating, focused solely on what I can control. I can't control these screens, I can't control the weather, but I can control this airplane, and I'm not going to let anyone or anything distract me. Together, Mark and I were navigating to a safe landing in Centennial, Colorado. But notice how we're focused on communicating with each other. Air traffic control can wait. They're fine. Mark and I, we go over our checklist, we brief the approach to Centennial, and verify we're both ready for this completely unexpected landing with half our cockpit screens out. Once we're set, Mark communicates with air traffic control and he answers all their questions from 5 minutes ago. And soon I'm lined up with 10,000 feet of beautiful runway. We land safely. And as pilots, a safe landing's the goal. The right destination, that's just a bonus. Pilots turn brave action into brilliance every day. According to the International Air Transport Association, for you to experience a fatal accident, you would have to fly every day for over 103,000 years. You're practically guaranteed a safe landing, and most of the time, it's even at the right airport. There's one group who struggle with safe landings, though: teenagers. I have two. Brooklyn's 17, Michelle's 14, and Kyle, he's going to be a teen before we know it. And growing up these days, with online intimidation, social media insults, and unrealistic expectations, teens are navigating dangerous situations. Like Brooklyn. A few years ago, Brooklyn inadvertently offended a friend, and she instantly knew something wasn't right. But Brooklyn knew to aviate. She couldn't control what her friend said or who she said it to, but Brooklyn could control her reaction. She didn't post anything on social media. She didn't immediately confront anyone. Instead, Brooklyn focused on taking control of herself, staying calm, and not getting distracted. Next, she navigated. She assessed, well, I can't be friends with someone who can't forgive an innocent comment. I need to become better friends with other people. And finally, she communicated with the right people at the right time. She spoke to me, she spoke to her mom, and she spoke to a few trusted friends. And together, we helped her navigate the storm. Brooklyn found her safe landing. But all of us have moments when things don't feel right. That's not the time to blame someone. That's not the time to get into some argument about what's happening, shouldn't be happening. It's not the time to pull out your phone and record the moment. Instead, we can all aviate, navigate, and communicate. And don't be afraid to take a breath and tell others to stand by. Imagine if we can all do this, how many safe landings we can experience throughout our lives. All we have to do is prioritize like a pilot. Thank you.